Thank you for tuning in to Mona Lisa Late Night. Grab your glass and let's get started. But before we get there, please go to my website, www.monalisamonroe.com. We've got merchandise, we've got t-shirts, we've got cups, we've got totes, we've got everything you need. We've even got my book, Life After the Diagnosis. So, let's go ahead, grab your glass, bottoms up. Let's start talking.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to Evenings with Mona Lisa Monroe, honey. And as I stated before, grab you a glass, honey. Bottoms up. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. And I know you're following me, so I don't even have to repeat it. But those who are tuning in that are new to the show, we are celebrating men. We're celebrating fathers in the month of June. And I already know Father's Day is gone, but the Mona Lisa Monroe show in the evenings, we celebrate all month long, baby. Now, like I said this morning, I'm not dumb, but I assumed that the fathers would be available in the morning. Baby, let me tell you something. That was a bad assumption because men are doing what? Working in the morning. So I have grabbed a great father to talk with us a little bit tonight. And I'm going to let him, for those of you that follow the show, you already know this guy. But for those who are new to the show this evening, we're going to go ahead and bring this fella on. Boom! Hey! You're becoming a normal, huh? You're becoming
Wow.
a regular on the show.
Well, American Express once had that slogan, membership has its privileges. And
Oh,
and
there we go.
I kind of feel like I have somewhat of a membership with, that strong relationship with
There you go.
you and hobby. So, membership has its privileges. So
Yes, it
I'm
does.
just glad to be back on the Mona Lisa Monroe show, and I'm looking forward to our discussion tonight.
Well, good, good. Now you know you're a regular on the show because you family, you know that. And not just that, I just think you're an amazing person, and the last time you were on the show, matter of fact, what were we talking about? We were talking about men or what were we talking
It
about?
may, you know
Business?
what? It may very well have been. It hasn't been a year with fathers. No, I was on recently, I think.
No, you were on recently.
Yeah, I can't remember. I do 1,000 things. So I'm sorry, I don't remember. I really
If I
don't.
remember correctly, it had something to do with children. Was it children or men or something like that? Because we were talking about, oh, you know what? It might have been the Love Is series.
Yes,
Maybe
it
that was
was.
it.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was.
You and
Yes,
you and the wifey.
yes, it was the two of us. Absolutely.
Right, right.
She's given me permission to be on tonight.
Whoa, well, tell her thank you. Tell her thank you because I really enjoy you and her being on the show. But since, this is the month of June and we're celebrating fathers, I'm glad you were able to, just grace us with your presence this evening. So
Anytime.
let's start out
Anytime.
with some of the questions that the
Sure.
audience wants to know about you, sir. Will
Okay.
you want to tell them a little bit about what you do?
Well, geez, I feel like, what they say, jack of all trades, master of none. But that
Don't say that.
that was once true, but I've been able, in my 50 plus years, I've been able to, I guess, create a niche. So, um,
Okay.
yeah. So I, hey, I'm a husband, I'm a father,
There you
um,
go.
I'm a pastor, I'm an accountant. What else? Geez, a laundry list litany. Apparently, and I'm a matchmaker.
And you a good one. Let me
Yeah,
just put that
yeah,
out there.
yeah,
You a good one.
yeah. but, but yeah, I'm enjoying life at sort of, well, I guess we can't really say post-pandemic quite yet, but
Yeah.
you know, post the serious part of it, I guess, or the dangerous part of it.
Yeah.
It's good to sort of be getting back to a little sense of normalcy. Um, but of course, still living life, being somewhat careful and responsible.
Yeah, there you go. But I'll be
Yeah,
glad when it's just all over me because
yeah,
I'm the type of person that like to get out and do things. It's like
yeah,
I don't like being restricted.
yeah. And there's still a bit of wisdom, I notice because of course I fly quite a bit,
Mhm.
that the airlines have relaxed the mask wearing, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet.
Yeah,
Honestly, don't know if I would even be back there, to be quite honest.
I
But
know.
you
It's
know,
like, how do you go back to that?
yeah. But a lot of people, are not wearing masks on the plane anymore. But that's not my to each his own. I'm not
Right.
I'm not hating anyone because they choose not to, and don't hate me because I choose to.
So you still wearing your mask?
On the airplane, and it
Oh
all
yeah.
depends on if I am in a confined area,
Um,
because not everyone covers their mouth when they cough.
that's ooh,
Yeah,
you ain't lying.
so I'm not a germaphobe, but I would like to think that I'm just a bit responsible.
Okay,
How
okay.
did I celebrate Father's Day? That's a great question. This Father's Day, I actually was away from my wife and kids this year.
Oh,
I had to fly to Bermuda because my god sister's wedding was on Saturday. But
oh wow.
yeah, what the interesting or the last part about it was I got to celebrate Father's Day with my dad. Um,
Oh,
Yeah, that was awesome, really.
wow. When's the
My
last time you seen him?
I see my dad pretty much every trip that I take to Bermuda, which is
Oh, okay.
once a month, and that is a miracle in itself. My
Wow.
dad, yeah. So to to answer the question, how did I celebrate it? I actually took my dad and my uncle, one of his brothers, out for Father's Day lunch, and we went to a nice restaurant in one of the hotels in Bermuda, and just hung out for a few hours. Kicked it back, chatted, had some laughs. Um,
Oh,
yeah, it was really a a treat and a joy, and it was there were times when we were sitting outside just overlooking the harbor, and there were times when I was just kind of almost taking this time in because
yeah.
um, our my dad and I's relationship wasn't always what it is
Right.
today.
Yeah.
So it was, I was just like, wow, look at the Lord, like God, thank you so very much for giving me the opportunity for reconciliation
Wow.
with my dad, and I absolutely look forward to when I go to Bermuda. He picks me up from the airport. Um, then he
Oh.
drops me back to the airport to come back here.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, and I talk to him at least once a week. He'll call me or I'll call him. So it's our relationship has really evolved, and it's interesting because I'm now 52, and I would say probably just um, prior to my mom's passing, which was
Oh,
in 2018.
right.
Since then, my dad and I's relationship has really taken off. You know,
Th-
yeah,
Isn't that isn't
abs-
that strange
it's
how that
amazing.
you
It's
know?
it's amazing. It's as if, and it's a weird thing because my mom and I were really close, but it's as if he was kind of waiting in the wings, and then
Mm.
now ever since, our relationship is amazing. Amazing. Totally
Oh, that
amazing.
is
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I look
But did you
forward to
feel
spending
a
time with
little
them.
did you feel a little funny not spending it with your kiddos?
I did. I did. I did. I certainly did. I explained to these guys that it was the wedding, like I said, was my god sister, was my mother's goddaughter. And um, because my mom has passed and she got married, I was like, oh gosh, I have to be there. And
Yeah,
she
yeah.
and she pretty much said as much that she wanted me to be there, you know. And then when I realized it was Father's Day weekend, I was like, really?
Yeah.
Uh, but um, these guys, they
But
were understanding. They certainly understood, and they loved. They gave me these wonderful cards. Oh man, and man, Sunday morning when I was opening those cards, I was just moved to tears with the things that they were
oh,
saying.
that is
Yeah,
so sweet.
yeah,
Where you actually answered the same. Well, the answer was also in question number two. How was Father's Day celebrated? So, you just stated that you celebrated it in Bermuda with your
yeah,
dad and your uncle,
yeah.
which which hasn't happened in
No,
years.
no, no, not at
So
all.
that
I
is
can't even
amazing.
remember the last time I was with my dad on Father's Day. Um,
Wow.
It would probably have been when I was a preteen.
A preteen and you're
Yeah,
52?
yeah, yeah. I'm sure it
Wow.
was then. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm
Several
guilty of,
years.
of calling my dad every week. So you got that on me. I don't even call my
Yeah,
dad every week. So that's good within itself. Shoot.
yeah.
Are you anything like your father in raising your children?
I am. It's interesting because my dad is very neat and tidy, and nothing could be out of place. And
My kind of dude.
and it's amazing because you, you know, I have the same traits, and the same way.
No.
Yeah, I do. And it's crazy. You know what? I remember growing up as a young boy, like I couldn't stand up in my dad's car seats. I couldn't eat in his car,
Oh
and
wow.
I'm like the same way. I'm the same way. I'm like eating your mama's car, don't need a mic.
Eating your mama's car. See, that ain't right. That ain't right. Wow. Is the
Yeah.
discipline the same? Do you discipline your children the same as you would discipline?
Yeah, I would say yes because my dad really just had to speak to me once, and
Mm,
the tone that he spoke was very stern. I
right.
knew when I had to straighten up, and I believe
Right.
that I pretty much do the same with our children. Yeah, they
My
yeah.
dad, all he needed to do was look at
That was
me. And I was
my
like,
mom just had to look. My dad just has to. His tone was
his tone.
his tone says it all. Yeah,
Ooh,
yeah,
we man.
yeah.
And see,
So
that's the
yeah,
kind of stuff that's you don't see that kind of stuff anymore.
unfortunately, I don't know why. It's we've the Bible says, spoil the spiritual rod, spoil the child, and
Right.
no better truth could have been spoken. And I
Mm,
think we're unfortunately we are in this place where people feel like they're got to be their children's
friend.
friend. There is,
Yes.
but you get to that point. You know,
Correct.
um, Shanique and I, of course, have Zoe and Luke here with us, and we're still raising them. We're still um, developing them as parents.
Mm,
Zayed, who is now 24, my relationship with Zayed is very different. You know,
right. Good
um,
evening,
it
Tam Tam.
yeah,
Mhm.
my relationship with Zayed is more of that um, being there for him, and it's I'm always going to be his dad, but now he can share other things with me, even as a friend. You know,
See, that's what I'm talking
yeah,
about. You can be the child's friend
yeah, you
and
get
all at
to,
the same time be a parent. You can
yeah,
do that.
Absolutely. You get the, I think it has a lot to do with age and maturity. You know, Zayed's
Yeah,
24. He is going through those formative years where, you know, it was about discipline and development, as opposed
right.
to now it's coaching and counseling. You know, yeah,
You know, being a parent and being an adult, right? Being an adult parent. And I think this is my personal opinion. I'm not a therapist or anything like that, but I think your roles shift as your children grow. You know,
absolutely.
like from 0 to 8, you are the nurturer.
Yep.
From about 10 to about 13, 14, you are the disciplinarian. And then
Mm-hmm.
from 14 to 18, you are an advisor, because
Mm-hmm.
at that time you're trying to get them out on their own to think for themselves and things like
Absolutely.
that. So you just really shift gears. And
Yeah.
now that I have adult children, I'm an advisor, and
Yes.
I'm also a counselor, because they'll say,
Yes.
"Mama, what do you think about this? What do you think about
Absolutely.
that?" So you have to be agile and
Yes.
adjust as you go along, because you'll get caught up in that. Well, for me, you'll get caught up in that. Mama, man, she all in my business, and
Yeah.
because you can fall into that by thinking that
Absolutely.
they're children and they're
Yes.
grown men. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Absolutely. So that's the other side of the coin, that you're so
Right.
involved that, you know, it's like you're being like a helicopter dad. Well, I don't think too many dads are helicopters. That tends to be um, the mom's roles. But you can have helicopter dads as well out there, particularly with their daughters. You know,
Now, see, I
I
was going to go there. See, I was going to go there, because I was going to say, and Richard, you better be honest. So you have a boy and you have a girl.
yeah, two boys and a girl.
Two boys. I'm sorry,
Yes,
two boys and a
yeah,
girl. And the ages, right?
yeah,
So are you harder on your boys than your girl?
absolutely, absolutely.
See, that was quick.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I didn't have to think about that, but it's necessary because the boys have to be, in my view, the boys have to be developed to be responsible and be able to take on the responsibility of being there for their wife and their family. They have to be
Okay.
prepared for that.
Okay.
Life throws you all sorts of curveballs when you're
True. That's
unexpected.
true.
So it's the toughness isn't that I am trying to really rough them up. The toughness
Mm,
is to prepare them to have thick skin, to be able to make decisions, to be able
okay.
to, you know, have an opinion, you know,
Okay.
to be independent thinkers, to be able to think themselves out of difficult situations, but
Okay.
also um, challenge them to be thinkers and to have a vision, to know exactly where you want to go in life instead of allowing life to just happen to you, you know. And so
Okay.
yeah, in that regard, yeah, I kind of am a little harder on my sons than I am with my princess.
Oh, oh Lord, help today. Your
Yeah,
princess. Now
yes,
see,
my princess.
let me say this, because me and Gary was talking about this, and Gary said, "Boy, those mamas are hard on the girls." And you're right, because we try to train the woman
Yep.
in the ways of being responsible and tidy and cleanliness, and
Hmm.
all of that feminine stuff. So I can see that. I
Oh
can
yeah.
definitely see that.
I
But do
think I think both parents have a role to play when it comes
that's true.
to their
That's
sons and
true.
daughters. You know, I think that most mothers, in my opinion, not all, but most mothers tend to be a little less tough on their sons. You know, it's like, oh, this
True.
is my boy. You know, sometimes I'm like, in the what?
Now,
Jeez.
see, of course we don't think that. Of course we don't feel that
No,
way.
you don't.
But
You don't. I see it all the time. You know that. You know
because I
it's.
thought I was pretty hard on my boys.
Uh,
But my boys, you was, man, you mama, you slacking on this last one. That baby.
Yep.
that baby,
Oh
But
yeah.
I'm like, I'm tired by that time. It's like I'm
Absolutely.
disciplined. I beat your tail and all of this
Yeah.
kind of stuff. By the time I'm 40, 50, whatever, I'm tired.
You've had
Shoot, I'm
enough. Oh yeah.
all that.
Absolutely.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
so that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
This next question, now this was very interesting. This question here, what advice would you give young fathers in these times raising children? Because think about it.
Hmm.
These fathers nowadays, they're not dealing with the same things we were dealing with, you
Yeah.
know?
Well,
And that's number one. And number two, these fathers are stepping up. They're not having it. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? They're like,
Yeah.
give me my child.
Yeah.
You ain't got to worry about it.
That I mean, well, first thing, what advice would I give to young fathers in these times? I would encourage anyone to have a relationship with the Lord because, oh my goodness, these times are very interesting. That will probably be the best um,
Yeah.
way to describe it. And, we're living in days where everyone has an opinion and,
Mm.
um, wrong has become right, right has become wrong. And depending on what setting you're in, who you're around, the, um, I guess the responsible way of living becomes subjective. And
Yes.
yeah, so I think it's vitally important to, have a prayer life. And I mean, I was just very often I'm out walking and just saying, okay, Lord, um, we've come to the end of another day. Help me to be a better husband, to be a
Yeah.
better father tomorrow,
Yeah.
because it's absolutely necessary. We get caught up in traditions and trends,
Right.
um, and we kind of throw these principles out. And so, what advice would I give young fathers to have a prayer life and then grab a hold of someone who has some good principles, um, who can give you good guidance. I know one of the things is even at 52, I still surround myself with people who know way more than me.
Way more
Yeah,
than, see,
who know
that's the
who. Yeah,
key. You can't be so prideful that you can't
no,
listen to people
no,
that are older than you,
yeah,
and then on top of that, the whole thought of living life without God.
yeah,
I don't know how you can
yeah.
do that. I
And
don't know how you can
I
do
don't
that.
either. I don't either. I don't know what I was doing prior to committing my life to Christ. I don't know. I think I thought I was having a good time, but when you sit down and really think about it, again, that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people who know more than you, who's going to challenge you. Because
Exactly.
if not, then you begin to think that you're the end all be all,
Right.
and that our thinking is
Right.
right. So
Right.
I think it will be good for young fathers to gather around some gray hairs, as they say in the Bible, that
Some great heads. I
there's
love it.
much wisdom in gray hairs. So surround yourself with older men, not and I'll say this, and it will probably come as a shock. Um, the older gentlemen don't have to be um, making $200,000 a year for you to listen to them either.
Oh, that's interesting. You think that the amount of money brings the wisdom in some
No,
areas?
no, but we are living in a world system that
Mm,
is um, promoting that the more money you have, the more wisdom you have, and we
wow.
know that that's not true.
That's
And
sure not true
yeah,
because look at, I mean, I could just bring up the rap and the hip hop right now. These
yeah,
kids are making money on top of money, and Lord have
yeah.
mercy.
No, see again, no guidance. It's but it's such a responsibility that we men have to be fathers, and there's quite a few. I have quite a few friends that are not natural fathers. They're, they don't have biological children of their own, but they provide that fatherly love to so many. And I think that that's vital and key in this day and age, because we know that it takes a whole village to raise a child in many cases. And
Yeah.
in that village, there has to be some gray heads of wisdom.
So, are you still mentoring young men, or
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
here
It's
here or in Bermuda?
typically in Bermuda, but there I do have a few here that I meet with on occasion. Just just to encourage them, just to let them know it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. That's the other thing, that a lot of times the young people are reluctant to get older mentors, because we typically, again, our drive as men, as hunters and
Mm,
alpha males, is usually can come across as aggression, and it can come across as abrasive at times. But
oh yeah,
yeah, but it doesn't mean that we love any less.
yeah,
Yeah,
true.
so
I concur.
yes, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're not saying. I hear it loud and clear.
But
But it's so
you know,
necessary. It's necessary.
and I agree. I mean, I
Yeah.
totally agree. And
Yeah.
me and some lady friends were talking. Matter of fact, we were talking about that baby maybe about a couple of days ago, and we were all laughing and talking, and we're all married, right?
Hmm.
And we basically reiterated what you just said, but we added a little cherry on top. We were like this, that, and this and that about our husbands and what they say to us and things like that. But the cherry on the top was, I don't care what, I don't want to be a man. I don't want that whole thing. Baby, you go to work, you work hard, you who knows what you deal with in this world, and I don't want to be that. So it's just hard to
We're built.
understand
We're built for
why
that.
women want to do that, huh?
Yeah, we're built men, that's why our structure is, our physical structure is built to carry things.
Yeah,
You ladies were never meant to, no matter how hard you try to bodybuild, and I've seen some amazing looking women, but even the most amazing looking woman still does not have the physique and the
right.
capacity to carry the spiritual weight of things that we men have been created to carry.
I'm not that chick.
Yeah.
I'm not that girl to talk about. Oh, I'm independent. Da, 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 da. I was
Yeah.
like, shoot. Have you ever been a single parent? Are
I
you
have
kidding
some
me?
I have some friends, female friends who are single, and of course they're mothers. And so on Father's Day, I saw on Facebook where people were saying, "Oh, congratulations, Father!" On Father's Day. And
Happy Father's Day.
I'm like, no, you
No,
could be a
shoot.
single parent all you like. You guys, bless you for what you do. I'm not taking
Yeah,
away anything from
exactly.
the responsibility that a woman has had to take because the father isn't there. Um,
Right.
but you still could not
You're
be your
still,
son or your daughter's father in
I was
no
saying
way.
that on one of the shows previously with the dads. I was like, I know I'm going to get some emails. I know I'm going to get some texts. I know I'm going to get all of this flack, but I'm not saying something because I don't know. I was a single parent and
Right.
it is hard,
Yeah.
but I never claimed Father's Day. I never claimed to be like I'm a dad and a mama. I'm
Yeah.
never,
Yeah.
because I know better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's no way in the world I'm going to put my feet in those shoes. There's no way. When my boys hit 13, I knew I was out of my league. I was
Yeah.
like, They would wake up in the morning, and you know what I'm talking about. The first
Mm-hmm.
time they realized that they were boys,
Yep. Yep.
I
It's
was
like, oh
like,
gosh.
you need to talk to somebody because
Yep.
that's something I don't want to talk to you about. That's the kind of stuff that you need a man for.
Yeah, and I'm so glad that you brought that up because that's just one aspect of difficult
Yes.
conversations that are not meant for a mother to have with her son or daughter.
Right.
Yeah, you know,
Oh,
yeah. I mean, the whole sexual conversations are one thing, but there are conversations that men are supposed to have with their children. Period.
exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
not just
And
sexual
there's
things,
things,
just life responsibilities.
just
There's
life.
those sorts of things. You know, it's
And you know,
interesting. Yeah,
come on,
it's
fathers.
it's very
Fathers,
interesting that First Corinthians. I was looking at this the other day. Paul makes this statement: "For though you might have thousands, thousand, a thousand, 10,000 instructors in Christ, yet you do not have many fathers. For in Christ I have begotten you through the gospel." And that whole premise is very interesting because I was looking at it. I'm like, wow, it's easy to instruct. It's very easy to instruct. I
right,
can look at information and give it to you and give you the instructions. But as a
right.
father, I have the responsibility to model those instructions.
Gotcha.
I have to model it. So it's not just, do as I say.
Right,
In our house here, these guys are constantly watching. They're watching me.
right.
Am I?
When you don't even think they are.
Yeah, yeah. Am I doing what I'm telling them to do? Am I living out the
Mm,
principles, or am I just instructing them? Because if I'm modeling it for them, then I'm training them up. So when
right.
they get old, that which they have been trained in, they won't depart from it.
And think about it. How can I, as a woman, Tam Tam says, very great conversation. Thank you, Tam Tam.
Oh,
And
thank
thanks
you.
for tuning in. We got some comments. My bad. I'm
Okay.
talking to you and I'm forgetting to address folks. Tam Tam, hey girl, what's going on? But you still have to enlighten them. Yes, you
Yeah.
are correct. Women
Yes.
can enlighten, but they can't be men. Not a situationship, but a true relationship. That's true.
Yes.
Hey, and
Absolutely.
Angel, how are you? Annette, how you doing? So I'm not trying to pretend that I
Hmm.
don't know what you're talking about. Yes, women can advise.
Hmm.
Women can show nurturing. We can show the love. We can show all of that. But there's things that we're not going to know, and
Yeah.
there's things that we can't model how to be a young man because we're
Yeah.
not men. We
Yeah.
can't model that.
Yeah.
And so I can go down a rabbit hole right now and address some things, but I'm not because I don't want to hear nobody's mouth right now. But Tam Tam, when they are grown, you have to. You can always tell your child what to do, whatever, whatever. But what I'm saying is, as a woman, you cannot teach a man or a young man how to be a man. That's
Right.
his father's job or a mentor
Yeah.
or a male.
You
Women
could
can't
give
do it.
guidance. Yeah, you could give guidance, but you certainly couldn't model it. And I,
Yeah,
I believe
that's
that this is, yeah,
that's
this
good.
is one of our challenges that we have in so many situations where
Enlighten them.
a,
Yes.
a lack of responsibility on even our part as men, um, and then the women are forced to try to model when at best is they can do is guide.
That's it. That's
Yeah,
perfect. You said exactly what I meant.
yeah.
We can instruct.
Hmm.
We can enlighten, but we can't model it because we're
Yeah,
not men.
yeah,
And then here you go, you got some confused children
yeah.
because you don't know what that looks like.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
this
And
this is why it takes the wisdom of God to we have to be able to pray, because even as men we don't have all the answers. I've been a father. I've been a father for almost 25 years. I still don't have the answers. I pray daily. Lord,
yeah,
help me.
there is no blueprint
No,
for
no,
parenting.
no. The blueprint is down on your knees.
There you go. There you go. That's the
Yeah, really.
and
That's
you sit back and you say, how did I make it? And
yeah,
there's no way you can do it without God,
yeah,
because every time I didn't know, or every time I needed help, I couldn't do anything but pray. And then
absolutely.
next thing you know, they had someone in front of them to tell them or show them or whatever. Because
Yeah.
I mean, here I am, a mother of 4 boys,
Wow.
no girls.
Wow. Wow.
And so I wasn't too proud to ask, look, hey, can you mentor my son? Can you give him
Right.
some advice? Whatever the case may be. Angel, yes, come on now. That is prayers over your children. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Prayers
absolutely.
all day long. You gotta have
Absolutely.
that. You gotta
You know
have
what?
that.
One point that I wanted to make, going back to my dad and I's relationship, because, like I said, we went through this period of pretty much my late teen into my adult years, um, where I was very angry because of the way how things turned out between he and my mom, and
Right.
I was just full of anger. And
Yeah.
I remember just praying one night, and I'm like, Lord, you got to help me with this. And this,
Right.
He spoke to me ever so clearly, and this just set me free. And I don't know why, but I feel like I need to share this for someone. That the
Okay.
Lord spoke to me and said, Richard, your dad has always only done what he's only ever known to do.
There you go.
That 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 set me free. I mean, really, it's almost like all the anger, the weight of it just lifted, because I was like, wow,
Yes.
you know in the synopsis was he didn't know any better to do any better.
And see,
you
and
know
you know what? That sets you free, because
yeah.
you don't know no better, because you're doing the best that you can with the
Yes,
database you have.
exactly,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
your database is your capacity of learning is right here.
Yes.
And and here you are with a child that's different than you,
Yep.
different than your daddy, your mama. I mean, we're
Hmm.
talking about generations that are different.
Yes, absolutely, that's it, generations.
Generations.
Yeah,
What flew with my mom, it didn't fly with me. And what
exactly.
flew with me didn't fly with my boys. It's just
Exactly.
a different time.
And
Now,
another thing is that he's a little more comfortable with it now. But I would tell him, hey, Dad, I love you, because I was an adult before I
right.
ever said that to him. And that's one
Wow.
thing that I always said, that as a father, I was going to tell my children,
That I love you.
that I love you.
Yeah.
Yesterday I had to meet Zed at the airport because he had to give me something, and before I left, we hugged, and I was like, "Hey, man, I love you. I love you too, Daddy." You know, so
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
and these,
good.
yeah, it's important. It is. We know it, but we still have to say it. We still have
And
to say it.
it's crazy, because I grew up in a household that wasn't affectionate.
Mm-hmm.
I said to myself that I'm going to be affectionate with my children.
Yep.
But you say it, but then you find yourself not doing it, because it's
Yep.
something that you just don't know how to do.
Yeah.
So I actually had to teach myself how to do that with my
Mm-hmm.
boys.
Yep.
And it's a different type of affection and love for your spouse.
Yeah.
It's
Absolutely.
different. It's different.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And,
but I
and
think
it,
it's vitally important for a dad to, and I know that for maybe many who will listen, hear this, maybe live or later on, I know it's a level of discomfort for, as particularly if you haven't, if you haven't done this before. But
right,
once again, to whom much is given, much is required. Our responsibility as a father is great, it's much. So it requires much. And
right,
even in my discomfort, or anyone's discomfort, push past that level of discomfort and tell your son, tell your daughter that you love them, because you rather, particularly men with your daughters, you rather they hear it and know it from you than they get it from someone who doesn't have good intentions.
You better believe that, because it's women right now never got dad's love and they
Yeah,
seek it out
yeah,
in all kind of madness.
yeah,
And
yeah,
vice versa.
yeah.
It's men out there that never got it from their dads
Yep,
and they seek it out in whatever area.
absolutely.
Both parties, man and female, mother and father, are crucial
Yes,
to the upbringing or uprising or raising of a child. They
yeah,
both matter,
yeah,
as they say. They
yeah,
both
absolutely.
matter. Oh, I
Nope.
don't need a man. Yes, you
Yes,
do.
you do.
Oh, I don't need a woman. Yes,
Yes,
you
you
do.
do.
You need each other
Yeah,
because God made it that way. He
yeah,
made a man and a woman to take care of the child, to balance it out.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
without either or, you're unbalanced.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
And that's just how it goes.
yeah,
Well, I mean, for now, the being a father, I can't even ask you how you feel about it, because we can go on how you feel about it. But if you could put some do's and don'ts for a young father, if you could say, don't do this or try to do that, is there a list that you could give a father that maybe just needs help with the showing of affection, or whether that's a listening ear or open heart? Is there something that you could give a father?
yeah. I would say the do's is to do listen, do listen, listen to. A lot of times as fathers, we think that we are always the ones that have to be providing the answers to our children. A lot of times, if we would just listen, if we listen and allow their heart, listen to their heart, so then we could better than be able to parent them, or advise them, or raise them, or develop them, or counsel them. So
Yeah,
the advice, the big advice, the big thing to do would be to do listen to them, because once once a level of respect is, when a parent can show respect to their children, then that also opens I think it opens their capacity to even have a deeper level of respect for their parents. um,
that's
and
good
the
stuff.
and they don't shut them out.
Yeah.
Don't shut them out. Children, as we all know, children will disappoint you. They will do things. Hey, I mean, we were once, our parents' little
Which
child.
we seem to
We
forget
Yes,
sometimes.
absolutely, and we do some things to disappoint them. Well,
Yeah.
our children are going to disappoint us. So my huge don't will be, don't shut them out. No matter,
Um,
and I feel the need to say this too. No matter where they are in life, no matter what lifestyle they're living right now, don't
ooh,
shut them out. Um,
ooh,
love them through whatever situation that they're dealing with right now. Don't shut them out.
that's
Listen, yeah,
huge right now.
just listen to
That's
them.
huge, because we're as Americans right now. It's June, which is Pride
Pride
Month,
Month
and
in
it's
Bermuda
some
as well.
parents, huh?
In Bermuda as well.
What?
Yeah, yeah,
What?
yeah, yeah.
Richard, that's
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I mean, it's worldwide, and again, this ought not to be shocking to those of us who have a relationship with God. Those who,
Oh, well,
if you reach a Bible, this ought not to be shocking.
you're right.
Um,
You're right.
um, but love covers a multitude of sin, and
You're right.
we quote it. and we say it, we instruct it, but we don't model it.
Yeah.
And when we don't
So
model
that's
it,
where I'm at.
yeah,
That,
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
okay,
Angel says, right on time. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, you're right,
yeah,
because that's the only thing that brings you out.
yeah,
Love.
yeah,
Love.
yeah,
Now, let me say this on the tagline of that. Love is not saying we're okay with it.
correct,
Love
correct,
is saying, I love you,
yes,
but not what you do.
correct,
Because it's okay for me to love you, but it's also okay for me not to like what you do.
correct,
And this right here is so sticky when it
yeah,
comes to parenting,
mm-hmm,
when it comes to relationships,
mm-hmm,
when it comes to religion. I mean,
yeah,
it's like, what do you believe, and what were you raised with, and what will you tolerate, and what will you not tolerate, and you're gonna say a whole bunch until it's on your front door.
yeah, really. And
You,
you,
yeah,
it's interesting though, because we have, and I believe that just because of really world is right now, we put all this emphasis on the whole Pride Month and
right,
you know and same sex issue. Well,
right.
my question would be, if your child was a bank robber,
Uh,
if they were a murderer, if they were
oh,
a child molester, um, these things are just as sinful. And the thing is, we show love and truth. Love and truth confronts. It's offensive, yes, all of those things, but it all the Bible says love covers a multitude of sin, and if love covers a multitude of sin, then I have to be willing to go through the process of the covering.
ooh, that's a whole nother show right there.
Because we think that
Because
we could say love covers a multitude of sin and think that, oh, today, but it's a process of covering, you know.
it really
Yeah.
is, and I say that because I walked that walk with a relative.
Mm-hmm.
It was like we had relatives that was like, bye, that's
Mm-hmm.
it, see ya. And then you had relatives that was like, I'm I'm pledging and believing that I'm a Christian. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I believe. And if I'm going to stand on Christian beliefs, I I love you.
Yes.
I have to love you,
Yes.
but that doesn't mean that I have to be okay with what you do.
Exactly.
It's two separate things. And
Yeah.
so, long story short, it ended up on the other side. And it's doable, but you
Mm-hmm.
have to. It was a process.
It's a
It was
process.
definitely a process.
You know what? I think of these stadiums, these sports arenas that well, we have one here in Dallas. The where the Texas Rangers play. Um, it has a retractable roof.
Yes,
The roof is there to provide cover.
right,
When they hit the switch for that roof to open and close, it doesn't open and close just like that. It
right,
takes a process as that roof is closing or opening. It's a
right,
process.
right.
And a lot of times, one of the things that we often miss in love covers a multitude of sin, is love is covering my sin toward that person because of what they are involved in. I
Right.
am being sinful if I don't love them.
Now, see, that part right there is never talked about.
Nope.
That's never talked about because God said forgive.
Yes.
So that's a whole
But
can of worms
again,
that you just opened up.
fathers, that's why Paul makes that statement. In Christ, you have many instructors. Because an instructor is going to say, you shouldn't be. You shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be
Right,
doing
right,
that.
right, right,
But a
right.
father is going to model love in his home. He's going to model that. And that modeling will be stern and look offensive and even feel offensive. But over time, you will see that love will cover a multitude of sin because he said it.
Well, let's just end on that because that's
Okay,
beautiful.
sure. All right.
Well, Richard, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on
you.
the show tonight.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure, and I'm humbled to be given this opportunity to share with your listening audience, your viewing audience, and I just hope that our time together has been a blessing to someone, and that someone was looking for answers, that they had answered things that they were looking for answered tonight, and praise God
I
for that.
agree.
Yeah,
I concur. Thank you, sir.
surely,
I
no one.
love you
Love
guys.
you
You guys
too.
take care,
Yes,
man.
sir.
Hopefully, when we come down, we'll get to see you guys.
Yes, we must make it happen.
Yes. I
All
see
right.
you soon.
Okay, take
Bye
care.
bye.
All right, bye bye.
Wow, what a show. Thank you, everybody, for commenting and tuning in to the Evenings with Mona Lisa. I had a blast. This show is always good when it comes down to having some great guests. So, thank you again, Richard Scott, for being a guest on the show tonight. Thank you, everybody that commented, Tam Tam, Angel, and Annette. Thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Now, don't forget the month of June, we are celebrating fathers. We are tooting our horn and blowing up, and what do you call it, giving shout outs to men out there that are doing it and doing it well. Please go to the website www.monalisamonroe.com. When you purchase the merchandise, you support the show. Thank you. Click like and share. Share the show with fathers, share the show with mothers, share the show with everybody. Thank you again, and we're going to see you again next week. Love you. Thank you, Angel. Love you. Mwah. Y'all take care. Bye bye.